Welcome back, traders and crypto enthusiasts, and just anybody that's interested in investing in this the stock market, whether it's EFTs or mutual funds, which I hate mutual funds, by the way. Don't invest in those. Definitely do ETFs. But anyway, I digress. Back a little bit to the $100 to $10,000 challenge. We'll start off with that. Currently, this trade is up $633. If you got with me yesterday, this was only about $200. And so we've been playing this game of cat and mouse, of just hitting off of this little range here. And I've been waiting for something to break out before I lock in a lot of profit here. So in the first time I tried this, it didn't work. And boom, got bounced out. And I ended up only making like $50 as opposed to making like $600. Sometimes that happens. You can't live in the past, like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, this account could be at 4,000 right now if I took the profits on the last couple trades I made. But, I'm looking for this breakout here. And so keep in mind, guys, you don't have to win maximum amount all the time, right? It's just about risk tolerance and making sure you're not losing any money. So on the accounts that I closed out of the trade, well, I made sure that I moved that stop to where it was a winning trade. And that's what happened here. That's why my daily balance is at $20, right? Is because overnight got taken out. Here on the dip, got in at 3,398. And why am I trading ETH as opposed to Bitcoin? Well, the ETH ETF is coming up here July 22nd, I believe, or it's just next Tuesday, 23rd. It might be 23rd. But that's going to be huge here because it's going to be released to the market and people are going to be able to start buying it. And it is a spot ETF, meaning that BlackRock and all these big hedge funds actually have to one-to-one. They have to buy Ethereum in order to keep it as a store value for their ETF. They can't just make up magic money here, which ironically, that's what we're doing here with this account. We're borrowing $23,000 and only risking $500, which is about, 1/7 of the account type deal. We're back to right around close to that $3,000 mark. And what's even bigger is Trump. Trump is going to speak at Bitcoin Nashville at the end of next week. This is the huge, big conference, and Michael Saylor and having Trump in the same area. Wow. Holy freaking cow. So this is going to skyrocket the price as well. And he's talking about potentially having some sort of a reserve for the US dollar for Bitcoin. And that solidifies that Bitcoin is, in fact, not only a digital currency, but digital gold, which we could see Bitcoin go through the roof. So before I do a little bit of TA on there, we've got this descending triangle here, right? And what I mean by that is boom, okay, it's a descending triangle. Most of the time, these do break to the downside, but when they do break to the upside, they have massive growth. And with what's going on with economics right now, I believe the sucker is breaking to the upside because this come back down and test, yes, right around 3,450-ish or so, I could see that. But the ultimate goal is at 3,600. And if you follow me on Instagram or anything of that nature, I have told you guys where my price targets are, and it's right around the 3,700 to 3,650, right? And that breaks us typically to the top of this resistance level right here. So that is what I'm looking at in this decent, small, descending triangle here. We're having a hard time of breaking 3,500 because it's just a psychological level for people because it's that random number, right? And then also, here, let me delete the drawings. Also, that we've got the resistance right around that area too. So it's got to break. But what is there about resistance? Every time you touch it, it gets weaker and weaker. It's like taking a sledgehammer to a door, right? The first time you might somewhat break through, but the door is not completely knocked down, but boom, boom, boom. And that's the same to be said for the downside. So if we ended up coming back down to around that 3,375 range, well, we could see some more downside here. But with all of the news going on with Trump And Michael Saylor here, this Mike guy says that it could take a few days or weeks for the market to price in Trump and Diamond strategically adding Bitcoin to the U.S. balance sheet as a reserve asset. These are priceless moments for long-term investors. Don't waste them. Ooh, saying that we could definitely be seeing a new all-time high of Bitcoin, and a Bitcoin that is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Crazy. And so here we have just recently broken out of this range. This is on the hourly. Let me zoom out. Getting above 66,000 is huge. Okay. So again, if you've been following this channel, we've got this. It's not a broadening wedge, it's just a wedge, but they bounce to the upside. And that's when, I was telling people to buy down here, and it bounced to the upside. And now we're hitting some sort of a small resistance here at 66,000. And actually, it's fairly decent resistance here. But if we can stay above this, which we can turn this guy into support where this red line is, boom, totally see a new 73,000. So inside me is telling me that I need to try to keep this guy open. So I've moved my stop to basically break even. And if I lose out on $600, that is, yeah, it's 1/5 of the account if we're trying to make this to 10,000. But still, that is, risk versus reward with those price targets being in here. If I hit it, that's making $2,000 again. That's doubling the account. So do I risk one, or do I try to hold out for the inevitable that's going to happen? And so I'm going to try to hold out to the inevitable. On Bitcoin here on the daily, we see a spinning top, which is a reversal candle. But previously, before that, we just saw a shooting star candle, which is also a reversal candle. So having those back to back, the market has no idea where we're going. But now we've got this big green dick candle, and that is suggesting that we're going to continue the upwards trend here. But these things don't usually last forever. So for us to get up there into a straight line, it may in fact happen, because we've seen it before where we've got this just huge trend, which is just straight up. And this one's more aggressive than where I have it here. And then here's another one on its trajectory up to above 70,000. So it can happen. It definitely can happen. But it's just kind of wait and see. As of right now, price is going down just a bit, right? But we'll see if we can hold this. If we're not holding this, I might end up taking some profits just off the table just because. But something inside me just feels like this is happening. And yeah, price action is ultimately going to determine whether or not it will happen. But Tuesday is D-Day for Ethereum with the ETF. And I suspect a decent pup before a pullback. And on the pullback, because it's buy the rumor, sell the news, on that pullback, I'll end up probably jumping back on board and maybe start trading a little bit of Bitcoin because of what's going to happen at the end of the week, because Bitcoin's price is going to go huge just before Trump gets there. Once Trump starts talking, depending upon what he says, if he says something incredibly bullish, like they're going to add it as a reserve asset because he knows about 50 million Americans have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, that's a good statistic because there's around 360 million people in the United States, right? That's including kids and blah, blah, blah. How many of those are actually of age to invest over age 18? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I probably should have looked that up. Is that 150, maybe half the population? So that's meaning 1/3 of the population is behind this sucker. Those are good voters for here. But this is Johnny Crypto, here to help you guys make some money. And I will give you my sell signals and let you know, as I'll try to do as many daily updates as I can about this challenge as well. So make sure that you join one of the platforms. ZoomX is going to give you guys a little bit of a bonus and help support the channel. And so appreciate all you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe.